Hi there traders, welcome to Elite Currency. My name is Chris. This video is taking a look at the euro dollar and pound dollar. Both pairs are running into resistance. Will they make the bearish turn? Let's find out. Let's start with the euro dollar. This is the daily chart, and yesterday pretty big daily candle here, as you can see. Let's zoom into that so you can see that a bit better. A strong or big wick on the top of the candle, bearish close. That close is below the close of 2 days ago, so that's a pretty significant bearish candlestick price action signal right there, and I think that could indicate the end of wave 4. Wave 4 is, would be a bit small if it finishes right now right here, so we got to be careful with this euro dollar. I'm not sure if it's that simple that would indicate the end of the wave 4 correction, but if we put a fib from here to here, all right, it did bounce roughly at the 23.6 fib. It was at the 120 resistance level, so it could be a continuation downside. However, the same token, I wouldn't be surprised if price pushes up to 120.50, maybe even roughly the 38.2 fib, because there are a ton of moving averages there, and I think that could be a bouncing spot for one more lower low at 117.50. So we got to be careful. It is bearish, but be careful not to jump in too soon. That's what we are not doing as yet, although this could be the end of the wave 4. You can see that this is kind of a bear flag pattern, right? Price is breaking below that bear flag pattern, so it does have the characteristics of a continuation lower. We're just still waiting for more one more breakout to the downside. In fact, we don't consider this to be a strong breakout as yet. This small kind of candle pushing through it below this channel and below the 21 EMA, so this is not a strong bearish breakout as yet, but it could become one because the HMA is down, so we have to take a look at lower time frames. You see, everything is aligned. Price is below the 21 EMA, 21 EMA is below the 144 EMA, the 144 EMA is below the 544 EMA, and this is typical kind of price action behavior for wave 4. So it could be an immediate wave 5. It could break down to the downside right away for that wave 5 we mentioned, or we can get a bigger correction up to 120.50 and then the turn for wave 5 of that bigger wave 3 that we discussed last weekend. I will take a look at the long-term wave kind of view because we discussed that in the last video on the 12th of May, I think it was. So just take a look at that video if you want, long-term perspective. But on the hourly chart, you can see that price is in a bearish mode. It has broken below the 144 EMA. Now it depends, will price respect that 144 EMA? There is a chance that 5 waves has been completed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. All right, let me draw that for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there could be an ABC correction, for instance, as well, and then a turn for the wave, if this is a wave 1, wave 2, for a wave 3. So, whether this is still a correction, whether this is A, B, and up it goes for a C within that bigger wave 4, or whether this is a wave 1, 2 for downside, that remains to be seen. What I'm looking for basically is a bearish breakout. All right, either or a clear 3-wave pattern and a clear turn here, or a clear breakout below the 21 EMA again. All right, so 3 things: either clear ABC pattern, a clear rejection here, a re-break below the 21 EMA later on, all right, or today, if price respects this resistance zone in here, so that would have to mean that price should not break, in my view, it shouldn't be a big push up. It should stay below the 21 EMA, preferably below these resistance levels. So if it retraces but then turns back down, then it could be an immediate bearish breakout today. But the HMA needs to stay bearish. All right, very important. On the 4-hour, it is bearish. On the hourly, it's bearish. On the 50-minute, we're seeing some retracement. So if there is kind of a retrace and then continuation like that, there could be an immediate intraday continuation today, and that could be something like this: retracement, bounce off resistance, and it could fall. For instance, it doesn't even have to make a lower low. Today, we would use pivot points to determine that. So let me add those. All right, so I went ahead and added the pivot points and the whiz levels. So you can see if it stays below the first level there, the target would be basically S1. Well, S1 is too close, but we would expect a break of S1 in the second level, but the S2 and the third and the S3. So the first target would be around 118.75, then 118.50, then down to 118.25. Those quarter levels, very important for downside. So that would be an intraday potential breakout. However, if it breaks above this zone, right, like this, then we'll have to take a look and see how the patterns play out on this. So if there's a three-wave up, I would be interested in a continuation lower, especially if it re-breaks below support. But got to be on guard that, as I said, this could be a bigger correction up to 120.50 as well. So I'm really waiting. If it breaks above the 21 EMA, I'm really waiting for a re-break below the 21 EMA before trading it for a bigger move down. So that's key in my view, at least, for the euro dollar and whether this wave 4 is finished or not. All right, so pound dollar has a lot of wicks on top of these candles. Look at that. Let me zoom in. You see like about 4 candles in a row with a lot of wick on top, and you see also a little bit of wick at the bottoms. It is kind of rounding a little bit, because if you add a resistance like this, and then you can add one like that, so it's making kind of a rooftop maybe, perhaps, but looks like it's finding resistance at the long-term moving average and Fibonacci levels, and I think that this is looking like a wave 4 for the moment, or a diamond as well. However, whatever pattern you see in here, it probably is a pattern because it's making a consolidation. So I think that this is looking like an area where price could move lower from. Now, if it does spike up, I think 136.50, 137, still strong resistance levels because of the moving averages and fib levels. So there could be a bullish, spike up, a bullish breakout, but I don't think it has a lot of space. I think it's quite limited, and any breakout could go maybe 50, 100 pips, but not more. So it looks like an intraday trading zone. The bearish break, I think, is aiming for the moment at 133.80, 134, which is not a ton of space either. So, and that's because this could be a wave 5. I think that for the moment, this is looking like a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're in a wave 4, and that wave 5 doesn't have to go all too far, but I think 134 is a likely target that it could reach. So, looking at the 4-hour chart, we see that if price breaks below these 21 EMAs, it would be at least the second break, right? We had a break here. This would be the second break. Second breaks typically do better than first breakouts. So I think that this is a decent breakout zone for downside. And I think that it could be like the euro dollar and follow the euro dollar too, or other way around, for that move to the downside. But this is more intraday zone. So we'd be very curious to see on the hourly chart if we can get that continuation push or not. And I'll be monitoring these lower time frames to find out about that. So here too, I would like the HMA to stay bearish on the hourly chart. I think for an immediate downside continuation, I would need price to stay below this resistance zone. All right, let me get rid of these trend lines for the moment. They're just rough ideas about that bigger pattern. All right, so I would need price to stay below this resistance zone. Otherwise, we are looking at, again, a potential bullish breakout, in fact, up to that 136.50, 137 area, if it breaks above 135.75. So that's an important zone. That's an important bouncer break spot, because if it bounces, then we could see basically a break pullback continue. If it re-breaks above it, then this could be a false break, and up it goes, maybe to challenge these resistance zones or head up to 136.50 even. All right, and it could just be kind of extending the correction and making an upside, just like the euro dollar. So now I'm not going to trade this bullish break myself because it's counter trend and resistance is so close by. that I would not be looking to trade it. I would be looking for a bounce and a continuation. I would be trying to trade that continuation on intraday timeframes today for downside if it happens. Otherwise, if it moves up to 136 or 136.50 and turns, I would be interested in a re-break later on, just like the euro dollar, for that last push lower. If it breaks above 136.50, 137, so let me put that fib, probably we can put the fib from here to here, I would say. All right, now, it's debatable where that wave 3 is. You could also easily use this fib from maybe from here to here, right? And you could even use the fib from here, for instance. But if we use these two for the moment, and let me make this like that so you can see the difference between these fibs, then you can see that 136.50 is an important zone. There's a 23.6 and a 38.2 fib. So that's a likely turning spot, or of course 136 itself. If it breaks above that, 137.50, but a break above that, and this is most likely then a wave A, down for B, and up for C, and we're seeing probably a bigger ABC correction if it breaks above that that high resistance fib. All right, that was my 2 cents on the euro dollar and pound dollar. If you thought that was useful, take a look at elitecurrency.com because we have more free analysis there, and also some educational articles. We also have our ECS start package that is for free. You can download a lot of good indicators and guides, PDFs, and materials there. And of course, if you're interested in our systems or our live setups, check out ECS Live, ECS SWAT, or ECS CAMACD, for instance, and you'll be able to get a discount on those services that we provide in the Forex and financial markets if you join one of our trusted brokers, and you can get, for instance, the first month free with ECS Live. So check that out if you like this video, and wish you all good trading. Cheers.